Too smooth that mud talking to have your ass in a wreck. Who's signing your check? Pussy better do what he says. We shutting down shows. Ain't gotta put no price in your head. Man, I'm coming for your tongue for all that shit that you said.
Gonna make the heat go boom, 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 boom. What it is, I'm gonna tell you exactly what it is. Another profile on this day. Yes, daily, we're kicking the real shit. We're kicking it for really real right here on Gunner's Profiles. And as you can tell by that thumbnail right there, yes, indeed, I'm about to write graffiti all over the bus. We're talking about ese Stomper, a real life Southsider, a real life Sureño, a real one. Okay? Tragically, he passed on April 2nd, 2021. And we're going to get to all that. But I felt that for no other reason, I should give this man his own profile and let him be styling, because ¿sabes qué? This Southsider deserves it, bro. He was loved and hated. He was respected by all. So it's good. Loved by few, hated by many, but respected by all. And I, being from up north, have a lot of respect for this individual on a lot of different levels. Okay, so I remember hearing about ese Stomper when he passed away. Now, I'm not going to sit here and I'm going to be totally honest with you. I'm not going to sit here and say I bumped his music daily, but I will say that he had a very fresh stilo. He had a different stilo when it came to Chicano rap. I call it Sureño rap because this vato was a Southerner and was representing his barrio to the fullest. All his music, the majority of his music, he repped hard. He was one of those Southsiders that you already knew, homie, right from the gate exactly where the vato was from and what he was about. Period, plain and simple. He had the looks, es que tapelón with the lokes on, es que un Ben Davis shirt buttoned up to the throat, all the way to the chin, and he was wiggling in that fashion. At the same time, being from up north, you see that, you're like, ¿sabes qué? Enemiga, right? But me having respect for my brown brothers and having respect for fellow Chicanos and Mexicanos and Latinos, period, plain and simple, raza, you already know what it is, man. I seen ese Stomper for what he was, man. And that was a righteous soldado, putting it down for the water and the turf that he claimed, the area where he came from, and Savasky doing it in a correct and vicious fashion. Now, like I said, tragically, he passed on April 2nd, 2021. And I remember hearing about it. One of my homeboys got at me and said, hey, another rapper died, bro, another Chicano rapper. And I like to be informed and brought up to speed, when one of our people pass, especially someone that's out there, a voice being heard for the gente. Because let's get, at the end of the day, we don't have very many. So we're trying to kick the doors down for the raza, right? For the gente, for the people. So that way we could all be on the same level. We want our social status of equality too, whether it be in prison, incarcerated, or even out here on the calles. We need our voices to be felt and adhered to. Because at the end of the day, all we have is each other. Whether it be north or south, we're brown, right? And proud. Want this chicazo sin wanna say, let's get, orale, Kid Frost, you did it, now I'm gonna do it. So that's how I feel as a person. So when the homeboy got at me, I remember that day, he was like, hey, some vato named Stomper from High Power Music. And I was like, the wind's blowing. I don't fuck with them vato from High Power. At this time, I was High Power, right? Not, of course, not active, but I still had certain views. I was like, I don't like the way that vato disrespects norteños. Even though I'm not part of that cause, I'm always going to have that burning desire and that love and that canalismo in my heart for the group faction that I was once part of. So I remember him telling me that, and I was like, oh, he's from High Power. And the different makeup of High Power compared to a lot of other Southern rappers like Conejo, Young Dopey, vatos of that nature, was that these vatos disrespected the norteños to the full. ¿Sabes qué? They had CDs and album Buster Free and this and that, and que la chingada. But at the same time, you have to respect the vatos, get down on what a vato believes in. If that's their true belief, if that's what's instilled in them, if that's what they really believe in, ¿sabes qué? You can't knock a man for his hustle. You can't knock a man for being real. At least they're being real with what they believe. Because there was a lot of norteños and the disrespect went back and forth, not so nowadays. And I'm glad that it has changed. We're going to get to that. But with this vato Stomper and the rest of these crews, Mr. Capone and the High Power Records, these vatos were disrespecting. They were like, whoop-de-whoop, whoop-de-whoop, on 55th, custers, right? You know what I mean? I'm a crit. They were doing their thing. And I ain't mad at them. At that time, I wasn't feeling them. But eventually, over time, I said, let's get this shit bomb. Don't. Another customer bites the duck. All right, it's all right. It's all right. What did that? Speedy low, leaning like a cholo. It was all good. But to profile Stomper, to give you the rundown, you have to understand that this man comes from Southeast Los Angeles, right? Having done time and being posted up right there in Sela, you know, is what they call it, Southeast Los Angeles, and Whittier and Nellis, Fred C. Nellis. I know a little thing or two about Southeast Los Angeles, you know, about that area. And everyone I've ever met from that area is a straight up gangster, a gang member. Everybody got a little bit of thug in them out of the Sela area. And this vato right here, ese Stomper, was a product of that environment. He was a true believer in his cause. He was a true believer in the South Side movement, in the Sureñoism. And he carried himself like that, man. And everything that this vato did, he did to the fullest. He did it righteously by his people. And that's what it is. Now, he hails from a barrio, a very well-known and respected old school barrio named Pico Nuevo. Right? For those of you that don't know about Pico, you got Pico Rivera, Pico Nuevo, and so on and so forth. This vato was from Nuevo. Gangsters, homie. You know, I'm not going to disrespect that Vato in any form or fashion, because at the end of the day, I met Vato. Vato had Nuevo right here. I said, orale, he had Pico. Right here, real small, but Nuevo, real big. He was busting. I busting. I remember that was one of the biggest tattoos. The two biggest tattoos, three. So let's get 1, 2, 3. Right? The biggest three I ever seen in my life. One of them said Pico Nuevo, real big. Another one had Sur on his chest. I talked about that the other day. The Vato from Armenian Power. And then the other one was a Vato from Lomas out of Bakers, man. He had Lomas so big, so I know that shit hurt, Vato, right? But he was down, his name was Tweety. He had fucking Lomas real big and dark. I remember you could see that shit from Egypt. You know what I mean? Vatos were in Nassau like, oh yeah, yep, Houston, we have a Sureño, right? They seen it. So anyways, the Vato Stomper grew up in that area, okay? He wasn't a transplant. He didn't come from somewhere else. He toiled in the soil where he grew up, okay? And he always repped that. And that's what happens in this world nowadays. You got vatos that are from here. So I was born here. I grew up to about 14 there. Then so I moved over here. And then guess what? And then I did a backflip and a somersault and I ended up right here. So I was getting bang, bang. I'm repping. This vato was different. This vato was a product of his environment, like I said. And growing up in Los Angeles, growing up in Southeast Los Angeles, you have to be hardcore. Okay? Everybody around you, the traditions, the aspects of what you're seeing daily is traditional Chicanoism. It's traditional Sureñoism. You're growing up in these older barrios, man, that are generational. You know, like Stomper did. You have to adhere to your big homies. You have to see what's going on around you and play your... I got a joker. You got to play your cards right. Because if you don't play your cards right, man, you can come up short. Such is the city of Los Angeles. It's very dangerous. Okay, so growing up in this dangerous environment, of course, this Vato started to get affiliated with gangbanging, and he comes from a good family. It wasn't like this Vato was ghetto, he was out there in the hood. So his family just happened to live there. Like I said, the area where he lived, the barrio, is a predominant Hispanic area, Chicano, Mexicano, whatever the fuck you want to call it. At the end of the day, they spoke Spanish, right? And English. And this Vato grew up in that area, and of course, at a very young, tender age, he got put on the barrio. You know, because you want to represent where you're from. It's just pride. It's instilled in all of us. And this Vato Stomper was just like any other Vato. He was proud of where he was from. He was proud of where he laid his head. And he repped that to the fullest. Now, what makes ese Stomper so different from a lot of individuals was he was very talented in the rap game. See, there's only a dime a dozen. Now, everyone always thinks they can rap. Sasuke, you got all the homeboys are in the garage smoking the pipa. Like 10 to 2 in. Sasuke, I can rap. Watch out. Started in the motherfucking trenches, homeboy for real, fucking with ranches, bitches and all that. I'm down with the scene, if you know what I mean, homeboy with the shoulder, lean like a cholo. Not everyone could do it, okay? North and south and in between. Not everyone knows how to do that, but everybody thinks there's some type of rapper. So sometimes I rap, you know what I mean? And I can't rap shit, you know what I mean? I could wrap my hand around a fucking trigger and squeeze it though. I guarantee that, you know? I'm not, allegedly. Anyways. So Stomper stood out amongst the rest because he had a different type of flow. You know, what I respected about him and what I liked about his music when I listened to it later on, and I bump it every day, man, Stomper's on rotation, you know, him and all the homies from down south, was that he kept it true to his roots. He made me feel and he inspired some type of respect and some type of feeling in me to be a Chicano. Maybe not necessarily from down south, but just the way that Chicanos carry themselves and some of the things. He told stories in his music. You know, not everyone could do. A lot of authors could rap. So it's good. They could rhyme. You know, nowadays everybody want to order Eminem. A lot of authors can rhyme, but can they tell a story through their music? That's a form of art and expression not a lot of people have, but Stomper had that. Okay, so eventually over time, people started to notice that this Vato was a good rapper. He was respected in his neighborhood. Big Stomper, you know, he wasn't no sucker man. He wasn't no punk. He didn't have dirt on his name, according to all the Vatos that I've talked to. It wasn't like this Vato was hiding or looking out for anything. He was just a young man trying to make his music happen. Okay, and eventually he got signed to High Power Records. You know, you start off small and you get big. And at that time, and even to this day, Mr. Capone, man, is doing it. Respects to that Vato. He's doing his thing in the music industry. I look at him as the gold toes of the South, right? Mr. Capone got his hands in the cookie jar and everything, and righteously so. He deserves that, man. He's put the Sureño rap on the map. Not necessarily the Chicano rap, so that's been happening, but he plays an intricate part into that history too. Most definitely, man. You can't take the Sur away from the Chicano and vice versa, man, and that's just how it is. Up norte, we got Toes, man. He's wiggling, you already know it. On the north side, this is how we ride, red rag to, and we're going to continue as such. But down south, man, of course, they have High Power Records and several other record labels, but this is probably the most notoriously notable one that everyone knows about. Now, I've spoken on Conejo. Rabs does his thing. You already know. We're going to get into a spill on Young Dopey eventually, man. Representing 18 is Saul Good in the Hood, a true soldado, a real pinto, a vato who's done his time and continues to do him, and that's righteous. But it's just Stomper, man, got involved with High Power Records and the push was behind him. Okay, he was the next up and coming. For anyone that doesn't know, they got a lot of rappers down south. There's a lot of vatos that are doing it, but not everyone does it the same. So this guy hears some vato, I'm like, okay, let me see what the vato's all about. Okay, 13, orale, okay. The vato, yeah, he's all right. Low riders, 6'2s, I like him. Have that. But it's the same old love song. It's the same old repetitive thing. You know, but when you get a vato like Stomper who actually told stories that made you feel like you were there cruising through the barrio, home with the pico nuevo, putting it down, homeboy, because I got big huevos, boom, 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 boom. You were like, ooh, fuck, this motherfucker's good. He gets me involved. He puts me there in that place. He makes me feel like I'm riding through the beat on a Sunday afternoon. You know, only some people have that talent and are able to do that. And that's what this guy did. Okay. So when he passed away, it was a big thing. It played more of an impact down south, I'm sure, because he had a lot of fans. He had a lot of people that respected and loved him. He had a lot of people that maybe not necessarily, maybe his enemy guys didn't like him, but at the same time, man, you know, just because you don't like a motherfucker don't mean you don't respect him. I've already spoken on that plenty of times on Gunners Collective, as right here. Respect is the biggest word in the world. It's something that you have to adhere to, because if you don't, Sasuke, you can get choked out, right, in that fashion. But I respect his music. Okay, so I started to look into my history of him. And like I said, man, Stomper was part of the Pico Nuevo. He wasn't just claiming of audio. He wasn't a false flagger. He wasn't a pretender. He wasn't trying to be something he wasn't. He was really a product of that hood. He was really a staple of that hood. If you ask anyone from the barrio, he died in righteous standings, in good standings, head held up high. He was part of the Sureño cause. He was part of Pico Nuevo, right? Southeast LA, period. Okay. So the man passes and people are talking about it, and everyone was wondering, I remember, how he passed away. Because, you know, if anyone remembers, in 2021, 2019, I think it was, this is when COVID hit. Okay, so, and we know quite recently, man, rest in peace to Mr. Night Out and Tito B from up north, that had passed due to complications related to that, you know, that pandemic. And people were automatically assuming that this is what happened to Stomper. But what a lot of people didn't know, what a lot of people have in their life, is you have your own problems. We all have our own problems, gente. Raza, stand up. We got problems. Sasuke, everything's not loaded. Sasuke, Gun, I ain't got no problems. Sasuke, you do now, right? Oh, Spencer, on la tira. Everyone has problems. And this Vato's, he had health issues, you know. He had a blood disorder. He had a blood disease that was very rare. And, you know, I'm not going to say that due to complications due to the pandemic, this is what put him in the hospital. But everyone assumed, they quickly assumed, you know, because at this time people were falling off, people were passing. They still are. You know, the shit ain't stopping. But this is not what happened to this individual, man. Like I said, he had a very rare blood disease. And tragically, we lost him from this world. Now, he'll move on to the next world and he'll do his thing and he'll stomp on out of here, man. He's going to stay stomping, because that's what real gangsters do. That's the definition of a real G. You know, what you do on this earth while you're here and how your name is looked at is all you have. Now, Gunner, how can you talk? You got a bad name. That's my prerogative. I can do what I want to do. I don't let Bobby Brown. And I'm going to continue that. But Stomper, I will say, was a real one. Okay, I'm not going to ever take that from a person. I can never sit here and bullshit you and say, hey, it's a Stomper, man. So he was from down south. His music was, you know what I mean? I'm not going to do that. I'm going to keep it real as I can. You know, and say that I enjoyed his music. I enjoyed the charisma from which he spit. I enjoyed the realness of it, the most rawness of it. See, that's what I liked about him. I listen to raw rappers. Raw people from the streets, not people that just say, I got the CR and the cranka, the gauge and the naka. No, I don't do that, right? Of course, I get, no knock on you, Dino. You know, I got love for you, my brother, David Pasture. Man, you're the one. He was real. But everything he said he did. But Stomper did as well. You know, I've heard a lot of rappers and a lot of people that just talk to hear themselves talk. And at the end of the day, man, it is what it is, man. It's none of my business. I'm going to stay away from that. But a vato that's really out there doing it and really out there getting involved in issues, you have no choice but to respect. Either you respect it or you just don't listen to it at all and you get on down the fucking yellow brick road. Get on down the brick road. Get on down the yellow brick road. You know what I mean? Do it, Dorothy. Click your fucking heels together and go back to Alabama. Or was it Arkansas? Or was it Kansas? I can't call it. At the same time, it's all the same to me. So it's good. Brown and proud. Now, I wanted to profile Stomper and kind of give you some of the details into his life because, you know, he's a name in Chicanos, Southern California, that they hear every day and it's respected. But as far as like outside of that region, no one knows. I know there's a lot of authors up north. If I say, hey, you heard the homeboy Stomper? They'll be like, Charlie, who's he rap with? Validated Music? Charlie, nah, he's from down south. Nah, man, I don't fuck with that shit, bro. You already know what it is, man. Yeah, but you bump Milli Vanilli and that shit's fake. But girl, you know it's true. You know what I mean? They're on that. They're over there blaming it on the rain, on some fake shit, man. When realness, real life, real thuggism, real gangsterism, you know, you can't hate on a man that's being real and then just has that. Okay, not everyone has that gift, but Stomper did, you know, and that's why I respect his music because I like it and also because of the person he was. Period, plain and simple. But like I said, we need to keep these legends, and I consider him a legend, you know, because he played a big part into High Power Records and a big part of down south, that movement that's going on and continues to go on. Respects to them vatos doing their thing, you know, and respects to up north for continually to do their thing. You know, the youngsters are going to keep that flame lit. They're going to keep that torch going, and they're going to pass it when it's their time, you know. Everyone gets a time to shine, and then everyone's candle gets blown out and it gets dim. But Sasuke, we will prosper, man, and we will make it another day. As being an advocate for North and South issues to cease, as being an advocate for the end of hostility, as being an advocate for the uniting of the raza, I will say, man, vatos like Stomper, vatos like Dopey, vatos like Rabs, all these different individuals, yes, not necessarily in the rap game, but as people, as talented young Chicanos, as respected men, man, I have no choice but to say, man, you got the utmost respect for me, man. Legends in the game. Legends in the game, because without these people kicking down doors for the youth, without these people establishing what they established in the short lifetimes that they have, because we all get a short life. So, but hey, Gunner, I'm 69 years old. I've been here forever. So it's still short. It ain't long enough. So I ain't had enough Arby's. You know what I mean? I'm still trying to eat fresh, like Subway. Until then, it is what it is. Anyways, with that being said, much respect to the vato out of Southeast East LA. That vato fucking S is Stomper, big stomps. You already know what it is. Speaking of huevos, stand up. Respects to your barrio, respects to the hood, respects to your fallen soldado. You know what I mean? That's what I considered him. Like I said, I'm not going to get into the crimes and the gang activity that he was involved in because I'm not going to disrespect his name. Let's just say that the vato was doing it in a real way and was getting caught up out there and handling his business. But at the end of the day, he's an inspiring individual that it should inspire the youth. Not necessarily to be a gang member and think it's cool, but inspire them that if you have talent and you really got it, man, go out there and get it. It's possible for anyone to make it in this world, man. Just because you're brown, man, don't let them fucking slam the door in your face. Kick that motherfucker or go through the window. So that's okay. I used to. Anyways, with that being said, I hope that you move fast with a purpose. I hope that you get everything that you want coming to you. Remember, at the end of the day, if you don't know what's up, then I guess you just don't know what's up, man. You got to go out there and get it for yourself. If you're not up on Stomper's music, man, tap into High Power Music. Plus, he has a lot of other compilations, CDs, the realest of the real. You already know what it is, man. Google that shit. Get the mouse. Watch out. I didn't say that rata, I said the mouse. Get the mouse, Google it, boom, Stomper, you're gonna see him like this, post it up, and just do this and bump his music one time for his mind. If you like this, hit the thumbs up. Please like and subscribe to Gunner's Profiles. If not, you can hit that thumbs down, heavy as the head that wears the crown. I'm gonna continue to push like I push right here, as well as on Gunner's Collective. If you're not tapped into Gunner's Collective, shoot on over there right now. I just dropped a banger. You know what it is. The gun, bang, bang. We do it as such. And in that motherfucking fashion, Orale ese Stomper. Respects, brother. Rest in peace. You deserve it.